What's going on, people? Fame Entertainment here from TiCGN.com, and welcome to episode 24 of the TiC XP podcast. I'm gonna get right to it. Start with the introductions. Hold up, man. I don't know what that was. I don't know if you guys heard that, but I just got something nasty in my headset. I do apologize. We're gonna start with the intros. We're gonna start with my light-skinned brother from somebody else's mother, Mr. Nickodemus X.
What is good? It's Nickodemus, the king of indies himself. And if you got a problem with my opinion, you got a problem with free speech.
Have mercy. All right. Okay. Then we got my right hand warm man, Miss 2v1 herself, Mamacita.
What's up, everybody? Mamacita. I'm glad to be here in the house again with everybody. And shout out to our guests. And thanks for joining XP tonight. And let's talk games.
Next up, we got somebody who hungry because he just don't have enough food. Too much food. What's happening, man?
Hey, what's going on? I want to thank everybody for having me here. Definitely, I wanted to get a little more involved in the community as I've been absent, thankfully due for good reasons like homework, trying to get that education, but trying to make some more time for gaming, trying to make more time for TiC. This is my first show as an official member of TiC, and I'm really excited, so let's get this going.
Much respect for you doing your school thing, my brother.
Thank you.
As requested from you guys who are watching the show, I've had people come at me and say, man, you need to get Porter Rock on the show. Well, we got Porter Rock on the show. What's happening, man?
Hey, what's up, Fame? Hey, I just want to thank you for the invite, and I want to thank everyone that requested me on the show. I appreciate it, man. That means a lot.
And so as we're sitting here on YouTube, we got about more dislikes than likes, and I always say it was our name, so that's actually pretty interesting. So if you guys are watching, thank you. If you guys are watching on TiCGN.com, we appreciate it. If you're watching on our TiC Game Network, I appreciate you. And if you are listening on iTunes, thank you. So before we get to the main topic, I have to address something. We found out that hashtag Nick does love Xbox. So we can stop with the Nick hates Xbox. That's actually over now. He actually loves Xbox. He proved it.
What exactly proved it though?
Nick, he did send me a GIF of him kissing Black Jesus. I'm gonna have to release it whenever I'm ready. So yeah, we know Nick loves Xbox, so that's awesome. But I do want to find out, what you guys are playing. Let's go around the Bing real fast and let's figure out what you guys are playing. Nick, what are you currently playing, brother?
Yo, so I'm on my third playthrough of Nier Automata. So those of you who follow me on Twitter and listen to me on any podcast, I've been hyping this game up to no end. So I'm on the third playthrough, which is absolutely so far the best playthrough. Like the way they broke up this game, story-wise, is just genius. Like it just totally keeps you enthralled and engaged the entire way through. It's like they constantly are kicking up the action to new levels. Like just when you think it can't get no better, it gets better. Like I'm not even overhyping this thing. Like at first, I'm not gonna lie. At first, when I started playing the game, I was just admiring the eye candy, right? In the game, I was just totally admiring the eye candy. Then I started actually falling in love with the story, action, all that stuff. So it's beyond that now. So I'm loving that game. Me being the king himself, I did pick up Wonder Boy, The Dragon's Trap. Been waiting for that for a while. And so I got that. It's a side-scrolling platformer game. It's a remake of Wonder Boy Part 3, which was actually back in the Sega Genesis days, for those of you young enough to remember that. And then last but not least, I've been playing Drawn to Death with the fam. You know what I'm saying?
Sir.
The XP fam. So much fun, much more fun actually playing with you guys than when I played it in the alpha and the development stages of that game. So, man, that game is lit with y'all anyway. So, yeah, that's about it, really. That's all I had time for.
Ma, what you playing, sweetheart?
Oh, man, I got a main game and I got a couple of side games, too. So,
Whoa, I'm telling y'all, listen, every episode, Ma gonna say something that's a double on top.
I do. My main game is Mass Effect Andromeda. And so, I don't know, I'm going to be on there for a minute because I'm just kind of trying to take my time with that. And then when I get sick of playing it, I just go to Horizon Zero Dawn. So that's where I'm at. And Drawing the Death was real. That was real nice. We had a good time. Good time with that. I'm just trying to figure out, Fame, why you uploaded. I saw the video. You uploaded Dominance. Did you see that, Nickodemus?
I saw that. I saw it.
He won one round out of how many?
Out of six, seven?
It's all about the perception.
Thank you.
And he gonna pull up Dominance.
Yep, Dominance with the RPG. The only weapon he was actually getting kills with.
Exactly.
Hold on, but you can clearly see me shoot Nick in the face with the AK a couple times.
Yeah, you was getting.
We could also clearly see you shooting the ground a couple of times too.
Yeah, I did. Listen, I peeped that as well. Yep.
Well, who caused the most rage? Who was calm, cool, and collected? Who was raging?
Your pathetic ass freaking character that basically, for those of you who don't know, that did not catch that epic stream. Fame had a character to where every time you killed him, he exploded like some kamikaze terrorist, and he would take you out with him. And the thing about this game is that every time you get a kill, it gives you a point. But every time you die, you lose a point. So every time you face this man, you got a point and you lost a point. It was a total ripoff.
complete ripoff.
Yes. So, this man, he just in there laughing his ass off. Yes, I am still mad about that. That was a ripoff. I should have won many games because of, dude, I should have won many more games.
Oh man! So if you guys haven't played
Nick, we weren't even using. I wasn't using my special ability.
I didn't know how.
Yeah, me either. Me either.
I told you in the live stream. I told y'all how to use it.
No.
Yeah, he told us, but I was like, I couldn't get used to it. I couldn't change on my flow the way I was playing at that point. But he did tell us.
I was so busy trying to run and stay alive. So
yeah, running and gunning.
Man, if y'all didn't watch the stream, I gotta make sure I watch it. We're gonna do it again soon.
Hey, real quick, before we move on from that, I said I was gonna do is I gotta give Mamacita her props. Mamacita holds it down. Mamacita knows how to play these games. She won, I think, like 3 in a row. I think.
Yeah, I'll take it.
She was holding it down, so I gotta give you props, Mom.
I'll gladly take it.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Too much food. What you playing, brother?
Actually today I ended up picking up Destiny Rise of Iron. I know I'm late on that, but again, that can be attested to classwork since I was really busy with school. I didn't pick it up when it came out. Also, I wanted to wait for a price drop on the physical game disc, the Destiny the collection, because I'm a physical guy. I can't stand digital and that whole aspect there. So now I own it. I physically got it. I've been playing it a little bit today, mainly on the Nintendo Switch, which kind of like is very accommodating to that of my schedule with me being on the go all the time. I'm working out, going to school, going to work. I've been playing Zelda Breath of the Wild, and if I don't have that much time on my hands, but I got to use just a couple minutes to play something, I got Fast RMX on there. So between those 3 games, I'm pretty busy at the moment, but having fun, definitely making it happen.
That's what's up. Porter Rock, what you playing, brother?
So right now I'm trying to finish Horizon Zero Dawn.
As we speak.
Yes. No, but I've been playing that, and I need to go back to Neo, and then I wanna play between Mass Effect and MLB Baseball, and work those games in. But yeah, I'm kind of behind in gaming, like over there.
I'm gonna need you PlayStation dudes to finish Horizon. Like y'all been disrespectful.
Yeah, like real talk. I've been very disrespectful to that game.
How?
Because
y'all ain't beat it yet.
I haven't even made it halfway, fam.
Oh, that's awful.
Real talk. I haven't played it in like 2 weeks.
Why not? You didn't like it?
No, because I've been playing like Nier.
He rather walk around and look at 2B booty all day.
No, I told you that was just the first playthrough, fam. I'm past that. I'm on the 3rd playthrough.
That's what I try to do. I don't try to do a lot of games at the same time. I try to just focus on one, enjoy it, do the side missions, whatever. Because once I'm done, then I just move on to the next one. But yeah, but me juggling 2 or 3 games, that's kind of hard.
I think that's a good way to be. I really wish I could be that way, and I've tried really hard to condition myself a little better. It's just that with Horizon Zero Dawn, I didn't want to run through it. I could have ran through it to finish it before Mass Effect Andromeda. But I felt like I wouldn't be doing myself, I'll be doing myself an injustice. I didn't want to just beat the game and say just to be beating it. I wanted to take my time and enjoy Horizon Zero Dawn. Of course, Andromeda came out, and so I kind of went to that. And so sometimes I do bounce forward between because I'm trying to get upset about it. But
to be honest with you, I normally do bounce like that, but when there's a game that, and this is rare, that makes me just only think about that game, I can't bounce like that. Like when I got the Drawn to Death or whatever, I did that to play with you guys, which I don't regret. It's definitely fun. And then Wonder Boy: The Dragon's Trap, just to be honest, I'm the king of indies, and so that was a business decision because I needed the gameplay for my channel before it got too old. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, I wouldn't have got it. But yeah, Nier just totally has got me, you know. So once I'm done with that, then I can move on. Other than that, I can't because I won't stop thinking about it. So.
Yeah. Well, that's how I am too. If it's my game, a game that I'm really waiting for and I really want to play, I'm not going to put it down. Just that Andromeda didn't really captivate me.
Yeah.
Like I thought it would.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So
hard for me. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, brother.
I said what's hard for me was like the back-to-back RPGs, because I like to take my time with RPGs also. I like to do the side missions, develop my character. And by the time I was getting in my groove with Neo, Horizon Zero Dawn came out, and I'm like, all right, let me stop this and go to this, and then Mass Effect is out. And Persona 5, this is getting ridiculous.
Exactly.
Back to back, like, because RPGs are long. You know, it's not like an action game, you know. And
yeah. You got to put a lot of time on those.
Yeah.
So I want to go ahead and jump into the first topic. So as we know, over the last 3 years, a lot of people in the Xbox side of things have said that Digital Foundry has a bias against Xbox, mainly because when they do comparison videos with the games run better on the PlayStation 4, which shouldn't be a shock because the PlayStation 4 compared to the Xbox One had better hardware. So that's been the narrative of the last 3-4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, recently, Digital Foundry was blessed enough to go and have hands-on with Black Jesus, aka Xbox Scorpio, and that's Nick's name, by the way. I stole that.
Hey, we are in the family. You use what I use what you use. This is the family. Go ahead.
So you know, ever since then, Digital Foundry and Eurogamer have been pushing out articles. It seems like at least one article a week, giving high praise to Project Scorpio. To which now, you're hearing PlayStation fans and also other media sites like Kotaku we're actually running out and saying that Digital Foundry is in bed with Microsoft.
Oh my God.
So I want to get y'all's thoughts on this. Is Digital Foundry, with giving out so much Scorpio coverage over the last week and a half, are they in bed with Microsoft, guys?
Oh boy.
Oh, I'll let somebody else start this because this is ridiculous.
And let me start. You know, Digital Foundry was never biased. They're technical guys. You know, you can't say you're biased when the test equipment is telling you the truth. And that's all they do. They're excited because it's new hardware, and that's really what their channel's about. They're about showing new hardware, new technology. So, you know, and Scorpio's now the new, more powerful thing. So yeah, they're gonna hype it. It's not about bias. That's what they do. You know, if you know, that's what they always been that way. You know, they have test equipment. They take the information and then they talk about it. So it's really people just, you could say they're uncomfortable hearing that the product they prefer is weaker. You know, for the first 3 years is on the Xbox side. Now you're gonna see it more on the PlayStation side, and then you know it's just what it is. You know.
Look, I was one of the people that said, I'll say probably, honestly, I'll say back a year ago, I remember saying that Digital Foundry, they're like kids with guns, and I say that I'm pro guns. I think people should have them, but I think it's about practicing being responsible with them. Now,
you live in Texas, sir? You live in Texas?
No, I do not.
Okay.
But I always said that. So that's how I feel with how they are with their equipment. That's how I felt back then, because I was saying, I was making a comparison to them being the children and having weapons, that technology and that software, and kind of ruining gaming. Because at least I'm not even old, but growing up, it was about whether the game was good, whether it was fun. It was never about resolution, just its looks. If it was great, I mean, you enjoyed its visuals, of course. The art style, direction, and all that stuff is great. But it was never predominantly the visuals. Now with them, because they are so focused on the statistical part of things, people have forgotten what makes a game, what makes it success. So what happens is we wound up with a generation of people that only cared about visuals. And here's the thing, this is the part that I love most, is that math, numbers, they are unbiased. It is completely true. You can't skew it. It is what it is. The number 2 is the number 2, and it always will be forever. So we're looking at this new console that's more powerful than those that have released years before, with even older hardware than that of the year of which they released. So it's not a surprise that this is looking good. The 1 year difference of silicon and the technology that's available for them, it has made a real big difference. So these people who are saying they are biased, they're just not liking facts. And those people that don't like facts don't care about math. Those people that don't care about math don't care about facts. Scorpio's better in terms of pure power, but like everybody's going to argue, the people who hate this show, the people who love it, it's about the games. And for me, it's about how good they are, how fun they are, the mechanics of it. For others, for some damn reason, it's going to be whether it's pretty or not. So just get a nice screensaver if you care about visuals, but if you like mechanics and if it's fun, get a game. Period.
Yeah, here's my thing. That was definitely
standing ovation.
Good. Here's my thing to that. Here's my thing to that though. We as the quote unquote hardcore gamers, we make the choice to go as deep as we do as far as paying attention to Digital Foundry and learning about frame rates and resolution. We make the choice to do that. Like a lot of casual gamers and stuff, they still just totally pay attention to only how fun the game is. Like they don't care about dips in frame rate. They don't care about what's that called when the frame rate's inconsistent. I just learned this myself through Digital Foundry, where the frame rate's like inconsistent and they're always like dogging on games for the inconsistent frame rate. Like it could be at 30.
Frame rate dips. There's judder.
So we make the choice to learn about that stuff and get involved as the hardcore gaming community. But yeah, I agree with you guys. Digital Foundry is not in bed with anybody at all. I've always respected Digital Foundry. I always seen them as one of my, sources of truth, So yes, the Scorpio is more powerful. If Digital Foundry says, is this % more powerful? That's just what it is. Okay, like you said, numbers don't lie. And Digital Foundry is not going to lie. They have no reason to be in bed with any of these companies. I think they're a reputable site, like Eurogamer is a reputable site. I don't think there's any fault in them or deceit in them whatsoever. They've never proven themselves otherwise. So the fanboys just really got to get over it. I'm all for representing a particular console and all that stuff, but you absolutely cannot get around facts. You can have your opinions all day, but when those facts hit, you can't dodge them, fam. You got to just take it in the face because they're facts, So it is what it is. Scorpio is more powerful. PlayStation community, we just got to get over it. It is what it is. So,
yep. Mamacita, thoughts?
Well, here's the thing. When the news broke, the day that Digital Foundry released the specs and countless sea of videos, I made it a point to actually read the articles word for word from the beginning to the end, and then actually watch the videos. And I cannot lie that I did not hear so much distortion of the facts as Too Much Food so gratefully stated it. There was just so much put out there about it that went against everything that Richard Ledbetter had stated. I mean, there were specific things that was said that you just cannot argue about. Now, you kind of brought up whether or not the narrative now, have we switched it from, was it about resolution, or is it now about power, or was it about power and resolution, or games, I should say, I'm sorry, power versus games, or resolution and power versus games now. And I do remember when I went to buy my PS4, and mind you, in 2013, I had an Xbox One. And then about a week later, I went out to purchase my PS4, and I was very knowledgeable of the console. But I remember the salesperson in Targets telling me that if I wanted the most powerful console, not knowing what my gaming habits were, and I think I can pretty much assume he figured this console wasn't for me, because I tend to get that a lot. And I remember him saying to me, if you want the most powerful console, if you want the console where your games are going to play best, this is the one you want to purchase. So whether you were casual or hardcore or whatever you were, if the salesman tells you your games are going to look better, aren't you going to choose the console where your games are going to look better?
If you don't know any better, yeah.
Right. If you don't know, right. That's what you're going to want, because that's what you're told. So I think a lot of people did do that in the beginning, and rightfully so. The PS4 at the time, the games were playing better. They had the better resolution, better frame rates for some of the games. So, and so now, I mean, we have Scorpio, where now it appears that that's what's going to happen, in the fall. So, I'm just curious as to how that narrative is going to be driven in the retail, in the stores, and kind of what people are going to hear when they go in and purchase a Scorpio.
I think it's going to take a while for that to even like catch on like that, because at the beginning of this generation, we didn't have games and stuff like that. So that was the #1 selling point for consoles. Now that we have games out there like that, I don't think that's going to be the #1 selling point anymore. I don't think you're going to hear much of that anymore. You'll hear that in the fanboy community and the hardcore gaming community, yeah. But as far as like casuals, retail, all that stuff, I don't think you're really gonna hear that. That.
I don't think that's gonna be a problem because of different styles in development that are available now. Back then, when these consoles came out, it was kind of more so a locked down frame rate and a lockdown resolution. But since then, we've seen them adopt styles like fluctuating frame rates, also dynamic resolutions, checkerboard rendering, and I forget, temporal. So because of these things are available, these techniques are widely accepted now in the gaming community. Let's say a game locked at 4K at 30 frames or 60 frames runs better on Scorpio over PS4 Pro, that would be a fact. But because there are things that are helpful, like dynamic resolution, dynamic scaling, I think honestly a game on Scorpio on PlayStation 4 can play just exactly the same without a hitch. The only difference being is that the PlayStation 4 Pro would have to dip in resolution or be locked at a lower resolution, but it would still play good. So I don't think we'll experience those same launch Xbox One, PS4 2013 problems where one did in fact play better than the other for most of the time.
Another thing to consider, the reason why it seems like the narrative is changing is because the audience changed. You see, back in 2013, the people who were paying $400 or $500 for these consoles were the hardcore. So obviously the hardcore knows a little bit more about technology, power, resolutions. Over the last 2 years, with the price drops of $250, $300, at one point Xbox was at $200. Now you're talking the casuals are taking over. So now, like on Twitter, I notice people saying, "Oh, all of a sudden, PlayStation gamers have amnesia." It's not that we have amnesia; it's that most of us that are in PlayStation now, they weren't around in 2013. They didn't play the console in 2013, 2014. In fact, the biggest year Sony had with PlayStation was 2016. So all those gamers have no idea what people are talking about when they say, "Hey, 3 years ago this happened." To be like, "I didn't own a PlayStation 3 years ago." Like, you see. So the market is no longer the hardcore market; it's the casual market now.
The casual is longevity. The casual is longevity, and the hardcore is for the short term. But they supply income for that. The first 2 million buyers, first 2 million install base, it's the hardcore. It is us, and then the other 80 million are the casuals, and that's the market ultimately that each one of the big three are after.
Here's the thing: when the casual walks in, the casual that plays Call of Duty buys it every year, that buys NBA 2K every year, Madden every year, and they're told, and they come in and they want a new console, or they're told, if you want your game, are they going to be told that Madden, NBA 2K is going to look better on the Scorpio? Is that what they're going to be told? And I mean, I hear you when you say that, and I do believe that the hardcores drove the market or drove the sales in the beginning.
Yes, that's correct.
In the beginning.
I
cannot tell you how many times I stood in GameStop and watched people buy a console with one game, spend $400 and $500 to play one game. And that was happening in 2013, 14, and 15, because I was in GameStop a lot. And I saw that all the time.
Yeah.
Even when I was online, most of my friends, and I was on PS4 the first 2 years, and most of my friends were playing 1 or 2 games.
And it's a multi-plat at that.
Yeah, multi-plat, third party.
At least in my experience, everybody that I know with PlayStation 4, they were getting it for Call of Duty and or Destiny, which are widely available on the Xbox as well. Be it that there is exclusive content, and I have to give that to Sony. I mean, look, Don Matrick, I'm a fan of him. I know not many people are, but I mean, the guy knew what he was doing in terms of locking these deals down. He was throwing money at the developers to get anything. And essentially, Sony adopted the Don Matrick Xbox 360 era strategy, and largely it is successful. People like to complain about it, especially on the Xbox side. But hey, if my preferred console choice manufacturer decides to look, for example, games with gold, none of us complain about that, right? Because it's free games. So did we complain when Don Matrick supplied us with extra content or extra free month? No, not at all. So I can't, even with what Mamacita says, which I believe is true because I've experienced those same things. But even if that didn't happen, we're still having these people buy consoles for 1 or 2 multi-plats. It's not even down to the exclusives anymore because they're locking down DLC. I mean, and it's working to me. At least
I think Destiny was the best thing Sony could have ever did when they got that marketing.
For sure.
That was
spreading that part.
It was a toss-up at the beginning because it did well, but it didn't review well. But I guess the early adopters, they just kept with it, didn't let it go, and actually Bungie made it better, made the actual game better. And I think in the long run, that helped Sony.
Yeah. I mean, and think about you get Destiny out the way. Think about who they decided to partner with. Bungie. They were on Team Xbox for so long, and they locked down that game. I mean, Microsoft, to their credit, they tried to do the same thing with Insomniac, but for some reason, these people who kept crying for more games and exclusives didn't buy it. So, it's shame on them. Same thing with Quantum Break. So I honestly, when it comes down to it, like I mentioned earlier, it's about math. So the numbers aren't there, and this is what's happening. Why? I don't know.
Imagine if freaking Destiny wasn't exclusive for Microsoft. That'd have been crazy.
That would have been a game changer if they would have.
Yeah, like
would have kept Bungie. That would have been a game changer.
And let them do what they wanted to do, and let them.
Definitely.
That'd have been crazy.
And to be honest, Xbox needed because the OG Xbox had Halo as its big premier online multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
And then Gears came out on 360 as its big multiplayer. And these games came out rather quickly. Xbox One didn't produce. I mean, the closest was maybe Titanfall, but I think the fact that it was on PC and 360, a lot of people didn't see it as an Xbox One. This is the big title. And the fact that it's an EA title, people already be like, this is eventually going to be on PlayStation anyway.
Do you guys think that if it was Xbox exclusive, Destiny would have did better on Xbox than PS4?
I think Xbox would have been a lot more competitive.
I don't think so.
They would have sold out. Because a lot of people would have jumped on that game.
I don't think so. I mean, it's still accessible to those exact same people. And again, it's a small, you're saying to deduct.
So I mean,
would have done like what I'm saying is would have done like Halo numbers, being that this is done. No, would have done Halo numbers.
No way. Look, you're saying deduct half or more an install base that has done. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my thoughts together. You're saying deduct the install base of PlayStation and then have this thing sell as an exclusive. And then that do better than what it did on PlayStation?
No. What I'm talking about, Xbox would have done better. Xbox, like if
I think if Xbox would have let Halo sit for a while and let Bungie make Destiny and them bring it as an exclusive, it would have
been a console seller. No doubt.
Yeah, fucking yeah.
It would have been a console seller.
Titanfall? Come on, man.
I don't buy it because nobody in Japan's buying Xboxes, so that's automatically sales that they lose. But in South America, they're very expensive because of.
Yeah,
they were also more expensive in Europe.
But Halo didn't do that. Halo,
but 360 didn't have Japan last gen.
That's what I'm about to say. Puerto Rico 360 sold great.
Yeah, and then
last gen, so that doesn't that argument is irrelevant.
So
what's hurting Xbox hard. I'm not saying hurting. Hurting's the wrong word, but Xbox One didn't capture the North American audience that 360 did. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
it didn't capture North America.
But the reason behind that wasn't about the games. It was about you couldn't share your games. You had to check in for every 24 hours. That was still being driven, even though they changed that. But once that got out during the Xbox One reveal, that was a wrap. I don't care. They could have, and I don't believe that if Destiny had been an exclusive, that Xbox One would have maybe done a little better in North America.
I'll say this.
But I don't think it would have been like this grandiose thing, because there was so much hate towards the Xbox One. It was not just powerful, but the services, what you couldn't do with it. And so, but you could do this with the PS4. That is what really drove the sales in the PS4 in the beginning.
And touching on what you're saying, Mamacita, even though they reversed those policies, for how many more months after they reversed it was this still being said as fact?
Exactly. For months and months and months.
Some people still think you can't play these games.
Oh yeah, some people still do. Somebody told me that in real life not too long ago.
And a lot of the people
they changed that.
And if you don't have internet, you're not going to be able to play on the Xbox One. I heard this so many times. Well, I don't always have internet, so I don't get an Xbox One.
It was because of the bad communication on Microsoft part, man. It didn't mess it up big time in the beginning, and they really didn't get the communication together, and they didn't really know what that console was for. Nobody knew what it was for at first. It was very confusing for a while. So people were able to just freely run with whatever, you know. And
but some of those things were true. Some of the things that they did come out with was correct, that they were going to do. Gamers didn't like it.
Yeah.
Where Microsoft was trying to go with it. And when you look back now, I could kind of almost understand now, even though I didn't like some of the things that they were doing. But gamers just were not ready for that 24-hour check-in. And that was actually what they were going to do.
I'm glad they didn't do it. I'm glad Sony didn't do it either, because in certain instances where your internet might have to get cut off or certain things, you never know. And then you can't play your games and you're locked out of this and locked out of that. And we still go through that sometimes, though. Like when the network goes down and some people games are locked, and like I'm like
right, which kind of says, I mean, I haven't played a game yet. Most of them anyway, that doesn't require me to connect to the servers. And if I don't connect, I can't play. And I don't even know how many times what game I've actually played offline the past 4 years. That just hasn't happened very much at all, if any.
I play a lot of games offline. I don't like that always online crap in games.
I don't like always. Some games don't even need always online, and they do it anyway.
Look, I gotta say, I agree. I don't like that, but I have found myself in a position where most of the games I play now require it for whatever the case. Right. I don't like this, but this is where I'm at, you know.
Yeah, I get it.
Destiny requires being always online.
The good one.
Not like it either. Like I think Ghost Recon's like that too. You have to cut it off.
What is it? The Division.
Stupid samurai game. I forgot the name of it. The dual samurai game.
You're talking about For Honor? Yeah.
For Honor. That don't even have to be, but they're forcing that down your throat. I don't like when it's like forcing you down your throat and it doesn't have to be that way. I hate that crap.
At the very least, when you look at some of the games that aren't online, they really bring the content. Like I'm looking at one of my stacks of games here, and you got Quantum Break, you got Shadow of Mordor, Arkham Knight, Skyrim. So none of these require online connection. So at the very least, they're bringing the content. They're bringing you a massive quality game. These online games are nickel and diming us, but we're paying for it. We could complain for it all we want, but we're doing it.
That's why they continue to do it over and over again. That's why Destiny 2 is going to sell well, because we just continue to throw our money at these games, man.
I think Destiny learned their lesson though.
You think so? What's giving you that proof?
They finally got their shit together, and they finally put out.
Let's see what Destiny 2 does, fam. Let's see what Destiny 2 does. I bet it's going to be the same.
Has a lot to do with it. I think
they made too much money to learn their lesson. They made too much money. They're going to do the same thing.
But they made their game better too, which a lot of developers don't do. they don't continue to build on their games.
Well, I think they're going to be able to build on the game better just because of the fact that they don't have to worry about 360 or PS3 no more. They're going to take advantage.
Pause. I think too much food. He choked on the Pop-Tart. He
That's
dropped
a good
out.
point. That's a good point, Puerto Rico.
I think
Nah.
that's
I'm not trying to rock.
No, I got that McDonald's Wi-Fi.
caught hell. You know what I'm saying? Like when they didn't come out with a full game, and what we played in the beta was basically what we got, and people were pissed. And they learned that they was like, "Yo, EA made us keep some of this stuff back."
Activision.
I mean, not EA, Activision. EA, Battlefront.
Don't talk badly about
Battlefront is the
EA.
same
They're
thing.
perfect.
Battlefront is the same way. They came out with a half-ass game, but Star Wars people bought it. So hopefully they learn too.
How many minutes we've been in this podcast? I'm past due. PlayStation is the best. All right, continue.
Really, dog?
Yeah, bro, look, I'm gonna say right now, the Nintendo Switch is more powerful than Scorpio.
God.
It's more powerful than Scorpio.
No, did we talk about this?
I'm gonna pay attention to the dislike meter.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. I'm watching it right now. It's going up.
Bro, it just broke.
Yeah, you talk about Nintendo, everything gonna break.
Yo, you're on the channel where Fame.
Yes, though.
You're on the channel where Fame will say something good about a PlayStation game, and he'll get all this type of hate and stuff. Like all of a sudden, he's a fanboy and stuff. You gotta be careful with this stuff.
Yeah. You know, I think people are annoyed with all of my Horizon Zero Dawn love. People are annoyed
But
with
you
me.
know what though? I'm excited that you like a game. It's nothing wrong with that. Like people are stupid. If you like a game and it's on another console,
I got a DM. I got a DM on my Twitter. I think it was yesterday or the day before, from some guy I never heard of, and it just says "get cancer." Yeah.
He hashtag get cancer you. Oh wow.
Yeah. And it had to do with this back and forth that I had with a Best Buy employee, and he was trying to tell me like fake stuff about PlayStation, and I wasn't like, he didn't expect for me to know my stuff. Anyways. So there's this big Sony fanboy community. I'm not going to say Sony community because I know there's some real Sony fans out there that are polite and respectful. But you know, the extreme ones, and they started tagging me and telling me to die and get cancer. And,
damn.
Yeah, we have.
We have those.
Yeah, so I know there's that. I put out a tweet every now and then that kind of like triggers them, and then what I do is I mute my notifications. So absolutely, and so none of them get to me. And then they're thinking they're at home, and they're like, "Yeah, we showed him."
So before I switch topics, I do want to say if you guys are interested in checking out Too Much Food, aka Switch Plays, and also your boy Porter Rock, their links are in the description down below. I do apologize for having those in late, but if you guys want to check these guys out, check the link in the description, and they are right there for you guys. So before we started the stream, the King of Indies was listening to a particular stream from a particular Xbox YouTuber who goes by the name of KidSmoove.
The best bot.
The best bot.
And in his stream, he was ranting and raving because this whole Xbox Fan Fest debacle. So before we go, I want Mamacita to explain what this whole debacle was about and why people are so pissed.
Can you do it in your most calmest voice, Mamacita?
Oh my goodness! I'll try.
Always
Please. Not always.
Go ahead and sing.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. They put out a couple of days ago that they were going to accept 400 Xbox Fan Fest registrations online, and 100 was going to be reserved for giveaways through social media and other avenues. And there was the first drop. They were going to announce the first drop of tickets at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then throughout the day. And I'm assuming every 3 hours there were going to be 100 ticket drops every 3 or 4 hours throughout today. But apparently, I was one who was on at 9 o'clock, and of course, I was refreshing. And I was able to confirm at about 9:05 is when it released, and I got in and I got a ticket, and everything was set up and it was confirmed by 9:14 a.m. Eastern Standard Time this morning. But my understanding is that there was some type of system error where the system, the events program and software accepted more than 500 tickets. And from what I'm understanding, it was possibly even over 1,000 tickets were actually accepted. And there were supposed to be 100 tickets at the 9:00 a.m. Eastern Standard Pacific Time drop. So instead of 100 tickets being dropped, apparently there was about 1,000 tickets people were able to confirm or at least get in and get confirmation. Some people got emails, some people did not, because some people got errors when they were trying to register and they were told they were in, but they didn't get confirmation emails. I myself received a confirmation email that I was in. I registered my credit card and all of that. So sometime after that, apparently, I guess they realized that there was an error. There was a message saying that they were not going to do a 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time drop. And from that point, I think everybody knew that something was wrong. So what they end up doing was they just canceled everybody's reservation and they're going to start from scratch. There's going to be a do-over. And my understanding at this point is they're even looking at a different way of registering everybody. So I don't know what they're going to do at this point. They did say just keep everybody follow the Xbox Twitter feed and Larry Herb, and I guess they'll update us. So I think that's what people are upset about. Here's my take on that. I actually am one that got in, and I got a ticket and I got a confirmation. I was going to E3 anyway, but I didn't have a ticket to the Fan Fest, of course. So I was excited. And when I saw that, of course, I was disappointed. But when I saw my ticket number was 1185. I don't know when that number started, the confirmation numbers, but if I were to assume it started at 100, I wouldn't have got in. I'm sorry, if it started at 1,000, I wouldn't have got in. And I know if it started at 0, I wasn't supposed to get in at 9 o'clock. I do think the people the first 100 people that were able to get in at the 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time drop, I feel like their tickets should have been honored. Anybody after that, they did say 100 tickets at 9 o'clock. So, yes, be upset, but was that the procedure? No, the procedure wasn't to accept 1,000 people. It wasn't to accept 500 people at 9 o'clock. It was to accept 100, and then at 12, another 100, and then at 3 o'clock. So at this point, that's all been scrapped, and I think they're just going to do a redo. So people are upset, and I understand why, because I was upset.
Damn.
Here's what annoys me. One thing I love about PlayStation, the thing they do is the PlayStation experience. It gives you an up close and personal thing with PlayStation. It's all PlayStation. They let people come out and they treat you guys to new things, right? Xbox does not have an event like that. So FanFest, I think, is
called E3 though, man.
Hold on. PlayStation, PSX are two different things, though.
I know. Listen, if y'all let me finish my point.
Finish?
I understand FanFest is something different and something smaller, but it needs to allow more people. You got millions of Xbox fans in the United States of America, and you only letting 500 people come? That's complete bullcrap. That's just not enough people. I'm sorry. Everybody who now I get the whole E3 sitting, people getting spots in. I get that aspect of it. But if 1,000 people got in, let them 1,000 people in. Do something for them, because you got millions of people. 1,000 people is not a lot compared to the millions of fans that you have. I'm sorry, they dropped the ball.
Yeah, but no doubt.
When you come to PSX, it's more than 500 people at 4.
PSX isn't E3. I've been to PSX. You have to pay for PSX, and that's specifically for fans. I was at the very first PSX in Las Vegas, and I had a great time. Yes, and I have pictures with.
Oh, so you should have seen Kev and Cece then. They were there too.
I may have, and it was a nice experience. I had to pay my hotel and my ticket. The conference itself was, and I had to pay for that as well. So it's not like that was free. Xbox Fan Fest is, I mean, I'm not saying you don't have to pay, like if you have to pay your plane and plane ticket and airfare if you're traveling as well, but the conference itself is free. And I'm not by no means trying to excuse, I'm just explaining what happened. I personally do believe that those that got in, I understand the anger, because I was one of them, and I was very excited when I got my confirmation email. But I do understand that when I looked at my ticket and I saw the 1185, I know I really didn't get in because I wasn't in that first 100. That's all I'm saying. But should they have, like Fame is saying, should they have accommodated everybody that got in? Well, yeah, okay. But then if you accept all the 1,000 people that are in there, in that room, I don't know how many people are allowed. Do you take seats from press, or do you, like, what do you do with that?
You're not gonna take my seat.
Because isn't
take Nickodemus seat.
But if I'm not mistaken, if my ignorance is showing, I apologize. Correct me. If I'm not mistaken, FanFest isn't just about going to the conference. Correct? They're going to have Scorpio set up for people to play something like that. They got a lot of stuff going on. You can still do that and just not let the other 400 people inside the conference.
Oh, yeah.
So people, they don't care nowhere. They
I have a question. Does FanFest have something to do with the Microsoft E3 press conference, or does it have?
Yeah, they let the people in.
It's the E3. It's Microsoft. You specifically come to Microsoft conference. You don't have access to the entire E3 conference. You have access to Microsoft's conference, and then I think they do like a 2-day activities for
it's
those.
Pretty dope. They go down and they pass out food to people. Like, it's actually pretty dope from what I see.
This is on every E3. They do this FanFest.
Yeah, E3.
Okay.
And Sony, does Sony offer the equivalent to that at E3?
Not that I've heard of.
No, they don't.
They don't. But I
do they invite fans at all?
I don't know though, because I know their booth when they, because Erica represented us at E3 last year, if not last year, the year before, and no, was it last year? I think it was last year. She was there with BG. And they do accommodate the people there, but I don't know about actual fan fest. I don't know about that. But I know the actual people, like they be having carpet on the floor, and they be looking, their booths be nice.
Yeah, they don't have no fan fest. No.
Like, yeah, I don't know about an actual fan fest. I know their booths and stuff are set up. They give out.
Yeah, but you have to have an invite. Somebody has to invite you in. You can't just be a regular old fan like me and just walk into the Sony press conference and say, "Hey, show me your PS4 game."
I have a buddy.
This year they're gonna do that though, because they letting people in. They letting the fans in. But I don't know about conference.
I have a buddy who works, like, I guess in the industry, it would be the technical term, but what they do, they have these rooms. Like, for example, you go into the convention and you got to walk around certain walls, and you're thinking that you're walking down a hallway, but inside that hallway is an actual room, and they treat the bigger fans that they know of. Like, let's say you're a YouTuber they recognize, like they will let you into these smaller private rooms, and there's food in there and for just you, drinks in there for just you, and then they have like 10-15 consoles in there with these games that they'll let you play. So I know even within all this, they still have private rooms for, I guess, your VIPs, but I don't know if you would consider that as a PlayStation experience thing. And I technically wouldn't, because you could only fit like maybe 20 people in that room, but Sony does do that.
Okay.
Well,
So,
I know we're supposed to get some kind of email thing. They're supposed to send everybody that got confirmation emails. Something special is supposed to be coming. I have no idea what that's supposed to be.
I'm hoping they at least give y'all some Xbox Design Lab controllers.
That's why what's his name was pissed off on Twitter today. That's why KidSmoove was so mad today.
But I do want to switch to the main topic of today's podcast. So I want to go down the panel. And I got 2 questions for each of you guys to answer. Okay, the first question, it will be, how can now I want people to realize we're talking about North America, okay? Because to talk about the world and all this stuff is pointless when it comes to Microsoft. I'm sorry, not the world, really Japan. It's pointless to really say how can take over Japan, because they can't. Even the 360, which sold amazing, did not do well in Japan. So we're not focusing. We're focusing on North America. And people say, "Oh, you guys are short-sighted." but you guys are you guys are saying that when NPDs are released. So we're talking about North America. I just want to get that out there. Okay, so I'm gonna go down the panel, and the first question I'm gonna ask each one of you guys is, how can Xbox regain control in North America? And the second question is, will and how can PS4 continue its dominance? So I'm gonna start with Nickodemus.
So how can Xbox gain control in North America? So it's definitely going to take more than the world's most powerful console at this point. In order for them to take North America, a couple of things got to happen. They're going to have to get some of these, popular third-party deals. They're really going to have to get back in the game with that to appeal to these U.S. gamers. Another thing, I know people, don't think exclusives matter, but exclusives do matter. And like I was saying, I think to somebody, when it comes to console sales and things like that, when you get the casuals behind it, that gets the not the casual. When you get the hardcore behind it, that gets the casuals behind it as well. So when you got, exclusives and more games on your console and stuff like that, that is very appealing to gamers in general. So that's the second thing they really got to do. I don't think that, I think the first step as far as dropping the Scorpio as a mid console refresh and putting as much into it as they can. If they make it affordable, they add the games, get these third-party deals back, and kind of go back to that formula that they had with the 360, which PS4 adopted. I think if they start doing that within a year, I would say they could start really fighting back. But it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in the first couple months. It's just not. PS4 is going to continue to quote-unquote dominate the US. Now, you may start seeing more, maybe go 2 months, PlayStation wins, then you may get Xbox. You may start seeing them get sprinkled in a little more, and it may become more of a real competition. You may start seeing that in 2018, but it's not going to happen right away, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You could easily look back at what we've seen. This is why I brought up the 360 era before. It's not speculation. It's literal fact. It's happened. So if we look back at the time with the 360 and the PlayStation 3 has had the worst launch that I've ever seen ever, period. You got a console launching for $6,000 and your firstborn child. And, look, to their credit, they turned that around. And with console refreshes, they've been able to achieve it alongside games because they released some really great games for that console. But look how far behind they were the 360, and I never thought that they would catch up. I honestly think at the end they surpassed.
They did.
So people say, well, the PlayStation or the Xbox 360 won, and I'm like, if you're talking about the two of them, no, they did not. If you're talking about the three of them, they still didn't because you had the Wii. But the PlayStation 3, they showed resiliency, and Sony has done this before from behind. So imagine when they're ahead of the game. I honestly don't see them falling behind, but I do see Scorpio getting so close. But that's it.
Yeah, I think Scorpio, in the conjunction with everything that I said, I think they have a real chance. If they do those things and they do them right and really get the gamers' attention, because they really got to get the majority of the gamers' attention again. So if they really start doing that, I think they would have a chance to, because, it's a really big lead right now. If you're talking in terms of just, sales and, winning NPDs, Sony has a huge monumental advantage, and they have a lot of fighting back to do. Not to say that they can't do it, because like you said, last generation, Sony did come back from that horrendous launch. And so they can do it. They just need the right seasoning, and put it in the gumbo, cook it up, stir it, and feed it to the public,
But you see what they had to do to get out of that rut, though. It took around 4 or 5 years before they got their footing?
Like 6 years.
Yeah, it took them about 5 to 6 years to get their footing, and then guess what happened? First party started releasing games.
That's what got my attention. Those exclusives.
First party finally.
Listen to me. People say the exclusives do not matter. I'm gonna tell you this. What got my attention, because I was a hardcore Xbox 360 fan, didn't want nothing to do with PS3 whatsoever. When I started seeing those PS3 exclusives and I started seeing Xbox 360 exclusives drop, that's what made me get a PS3. I'm telling you, it matters.
Mamacita, what you think, sweetheart?
I don't know. I don't know. My take on that is I don't necessarily believe that Xbox has to beat PlayStation to be successful. I know we live in a world where we know we have to crown a winner.
That's not the question, though, Ma. That's not the question.
Excuse me.
But that's not the
He
question.
asked me, did I feel like the Xbox could come back and dominate or beat the PS4?
Yeah.
So can I answer the question, please?
Yeah, Ma.
I want to.
Don't you stroke her, Nick. Don't you stroke her.
I know you. Excuse me.
I'm gonna tell you right now. This is the segment where Fame got his ass handed to him.
And I was answering the question that I don't necessarily believe that Xbox has to beat the PlayStation to be successful in numbers. Does it have to say now we've overtaken, the NPD? And he also stated North America, does it have to do that? I don't think it has to do that, but most people do. They think if you're not on top, then you've lost.
You ain't first or last.
But
Right.
listen, real quick on that note, do you think Microsoft, do you think the execs and stuff, do you think they want it? Like, do you think they want
Of course
to win
they
the NPD?
do.
Obviously.
Of
Yeah,
course.
right.
I
So,
see.
You want to know how I know they want it? Because last generation they rubbed PS3.
exactly.
And
Whenever they
who-
win NPDs now,
But
they
here's
celebrate.
the
So
beauty
it
of conversation. This is my opinion.
I know.
And I'm giving my opinion, and I'm saying that I don't know. Now, does Microsoft and Sony, of course, Microsoft wants to be on the top, and they need to do whatever. I'm just saying I don't know if they have to be, if you have to be number one to be considered successful.
You're talking about
is
like
what I'm saying.
as far as like Microsoft as a company goes,
Overtaking PlayStation in North America,
You know what,
numbers, consoles,
a lot of
and so
people.
is what I'm talking about.
I understand what you're saying, Mamacita, and I agree with you. And also, a lot of people think that Microsoft is doing so terrible and so bad. And I'm looking at them like, you do know they're out doing the 360, right? It's just that PS4 is just doing extremely well, overly well.
Exactly.
But we don't.
And
But listen. Here's the
that's
thing.
the point that I'm making. So that I can finish.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What was the second part, Fame? Because this
I didn't get
the
the
King of
answer.
Indies has
Yeah,
disturbed and
let my
interrupted my groove.
I didn't even get to answer the second part though. I didn't even get to answer it.
Say what?
I didn't get to answer the second part. Why should you?
Because he called Mamacita. Now, if
I think we're answering the
want
first
to answer to that,
Call me first, and I didn't get the answer.
go ahead, King of Mamacitas. Then, if you want to answer it.
I'm the king of everything that exists.
Oh, Negro, please.
Don't make me turn this camera on, put my crown on. Never mind.
Don't make
Trying
him
to put
stroke
on
you.
a show. I don't know who he's trying to front from. But
We already know what happens behind closed doors, right, Mom?
yeah, we do know.
Hey, listen. I BS you guys now. If y'all guys follow us on Twitter, you know the very first time Ma and Nick was in the same space together, she gave him a tampon and told him to have that help him with his pony period.
Oh man.
No, because
Ma is a savage.
yeah, you want to get. I mean, you want to get all outside yourself. You want to come at me sideways. You must be.
Ma is a
You
savage.
must need a Madol and a tampon, and that's exactly what I gave
Not
you.
a model.
Yeah,
I gave him a Madol pill and a
Madol.
tampon.
And then later that night, we was drinking and playing Knack.
We sure was.
I love my team, yo.
The knack part is when I'm laughing.
like legit, man.
No, they wasn't playing Knack. It was like
You
Mama
have
C
to
was
be
playing
drinking.
Knack, and Nick was running behind her.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's what it
you
really
have to
was.
be drinking to play that game.
she was like the one. She was the one that was invincible. So I was being strategic. I was using strategery.
It's a strategic.
But go ahead, Ma. Finish.
No, I'm done. I'm done now. I'm trying to get my point. I'm done. Go
Okay.
ahead on to
So,
the next one.
What points am I supposed to be making here? I forget.
All right,
It's been
I
like
think-
48
There's
minutes.
just two questions. How can Xbox regain control in North America, and will or can PS4 dominance continue?
Well, I mean, Microsoft has enough money to buy all of Sony. They could do that. And
Oh,
then,
my God.
and how can what was the second one? I got the memory of a fish.
How can or will PS4 continue its dominance in North America?
I think, I mean, their current install base. Period. I mean, I think they're gonna stay that way. They got a lot of fans, be it ignorant or informed ones, be it crazy
Wow.
or genuine fans, not fake fans. But I think it's going to stay that way. They got enough good games. They got enough variety. They have a bunch of policies that are questionable and I don't agree with, and that I think if people were informed, they wouldn't have a PlayStation. But because honestly, all they care about is games, I think that they'll continue their dominance through the exact same strategy they have now. We've seen them dominate in the PlayStation 2 era with the weakest console, if you don't include the Dreamcast. We've seen them technically surpass the 360 with the PlayStation 3. We've seen them dominate with the PlayStation 1. I mean, it's just history over and over again. I mean, it's about leadership, and they show resiliency the one time that they were threatened. So I agree with Mamacita. I think that Xbox doesn't have to overtake in terms of raw numbers to be successful. I think the industry as a whole is healthy anyways, whether it be Microsoft at the head or Sony. It's about getting consoles in the home. It's about getting games out there in people's hands. And if you look at the numbers, the Xbox One is selling better than the 360, the PS4 is selling better than the PS3. And the Nintendo Switch is on track to sell better than the Wii, selling 2 million, nearly 2 million, I think, in 1 month, which is absurd. So look, this generation is looking good. PlayStation, I think, is going to stay in the lead. Scorpio is going to close that gap. That's about it.
Porter Rock.
I agree with the rest of the panel saying that Xbox One in its own right is successful. But you know how the community is, media is. If you're not number one, you're last. But if I were to look at if Xbox were to take over North America, I would say it has to be two things. It has to be the Xbox One S leading the charge and advertisement. Because I think advertisement is the worst thing Microsoft has done. They just have done a terrible job this year with advertisement. It seems like every other commercial I see is PlayStation. Even I'm getting sick of seeing PlayStation commercials. I'm like, all right. Like I was watching Flash the other day.
Finals though, they've been showing the hell out of the PlayStation.
Yeah, I'm like, I was watching Flash, trying to catch up on Flash on demand, and every other commercial was a PlayStation. I couldn't fast forward it.
Oh yeah.
Like,
if you go to my movie theater, if you go to the movie theater in my town, they play PlayStation ads in theater on a 30-foot screen.
So right.
Yeah, you're right about that too. I saw it during Power Rangers.
Listen, when I start seeing Let It Die, get commercials run over and over, I'm like, Let It Die, a free to play.
Yeah,
getting constant promotion on TV. I was like, okay, come on.
Every Sunday morning, I have someone knock on my door at 8 a.m. They're like, hey, let me tell you about the God and Creator we call PlayStation.
Oh, the gospel.
And they hand me a pamphlet.
You know what though? I'm glad they are doing better marketing wise on Puerto Rico. Because if you remember the PS3 era, Sony was terrible.
They were broke.
No, it wasn't even
that PS3 was killing.
What was their slogan?
It wasn't even being broke because during the beginning of the PS3, it wasn't broke and it was terrible.
Nah, they spent all that money. They spent all that money making that damn thing, trying to sell it for $600. Nobody was buying it. They went quick.
Let me tell you this. Look, the PlayStation 3, their slogan back then was, it only does everything. And I remember this now specifically because I was doing this research thing where PlayStation adopted the entire catalog of the 360 strategy where, with the PS4, where they made it about the games, and then Don Matrick started doing the PlayStation 3 strategy because the Xbox One's supposed to do everything, but it looked like gamers cared about games over media, and so that's what's happening this generation. So I remember that I know it may seem random, but I remember you were talking about the advertising, which was terrible, and it was. So they were marketing everything else except for the games. So that's why they were doing so bad at one point.
So I would say, yeah. So for Microsoft, I know Scorpio's coming out, but I don't think a $500 console in the middle of the gen is the answer. I think it's gonna please, the hardcore gamers. I think. You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
That's gonna be $449.
I think it's gonna be.
S is gonna fly.
Yeah, the rumor is $399.
Look, Phil Spencer said this. He said straight up. Phil Spencer said Sony built a great console for 2016 because that was what was available. That was the best silicon available. So and it cost $399. If that was the best that you can come up with in 2016, what's the best that you can come out in 2017? The Scorpio. So I think $399 is really going to do it. And then
if that joint $399,
That's a big deal.
Shit.
Scorpio, look,
they're
PS4 Pro is going to be $350.
If they do it for $400, that means they're willing to take a loss, and they're really trying to.
That joint gonna sell. That joint. Listen, that joint going. You're gonna be able to find that joint.
They lower the S. We all thought Pro was gonna maybe do what it was gonna do.
Yeah, but the Scorpio doing a mid-gen refresh a lot better than what the Pro doing a mid-gen refresh. Like,
no, I'm just saying, but you got to look at those slims and look at these families who gonna be going out buying these things too. Because I didn't expect for a slim on either side to do as well as it's been doing. Like the Xbox One S and the PlayStation Slim, I didn't think those joints was gonna do as good as they're doing.
And you have to look at the audience. If the consumers this year don't already own an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4, then chances are they're not going to jump at a $500 console on their first thing. They're looking for the cheaper product. That's why I said the Xbox One S is the key.
That majority of people Slim and what was it, 200, 250?
The majority of people,
shit, them joints gonna fly.
The majority of people is going to be looking for a $500 console. Is pretty much the hardcore that wants that better graphics. And I think it's an easier pill. It's an easier pill to swallow for the Xbox fans because you're transferring all your stuff onto the Scorpio and you're getting everything that you already own, just better versions, improvements and everything that Microsoft has plans. Now, for a PlayStation gamer, it's a little bit harder because now you're talking about 2-3 years of stuff you invested in, hundreds and thousands of dollars in games and content. And I'm like, damn, you pay $500 for a Scorpio. But now you're thinking, what do I do with what I already invested in over the last 3 years?
Here's
the biggest hardcore gamer.
Real quick, while I got my thought, real quick. I'm gonna cut you off, but while I got my thought, what Microsoft I feel like needs to do, if this thing is $399, that's huge, right? But also what they need to do, I feel like, is they need to have the Scorpio hooked up in every store possible, connected to a 4K TV. So people can actually see how good and great it looks. Because that's one thing that the Pro didn't do that I was very disappointed in, that they didn't have this thing hooked up to 4K TV. They had it hooked up to regular 1080p TVs. Like, you can't get, you can't see how great it looks and be convinced, You can't
hear about HDR. You can't hear about 4K.
Exactly. You got to see it. So if they had this thing, $399 in stores, hooked up to 4K TVs, oh, man, you're gonna get a massive amount
4K
of sales.
TVs to play no 4K games.
Yeah.
That's probably why.
I tweeted Phil Spencer about this, man. They don't got 4K TVs on their Xbox. Same thing for PlayStation. They don't got HDR capable televisions. They're telling you about it. They're marketing it. That you could see their advertising in aisle. They're not showing you. They're just telling you about it. That's it.
Hey guys, I got a quick question. It's kind of really off topic, but it's come to mind. Y'all said HDR. Remember when the PS4 Pro was revealed and they revealed HDR for the regular PS4? What the hell happened to that? That wasn't real, right? That was just them talking out their ass. Like, I don't see no HDR games on the regular PS4.
They said regular PS4?
Yeah.
I think the problem is people on the regular PS4, they're not getting 4K TVs, so it's really hard to know.
Yeah, but what? I don't know, because if I'm not mistaken, the PS4 doesn't have the proper USB to run HDR.
But I know.
No. It's an HDMI port. And here's the thing: the HDMI port that's both on the HDMI port that's on the original Xbox One and PlayStation 4. It's HDMI 1.4. Now those could actually do 4K straight up right there. But it does 4K, and I believe 24 frames a second, which is the frame rate that that is synonymous with films, but not 30 frames, not 60 frames. Also, HDR is capable of being done on there, but it's not like a full HDR. It's kind of like what people call like faux HDR. It is, but it isn't. It's kind of like getting imitation crab. You're eating it, it tastes like it, it looks like it, but it ain't. So that's essentially what the PlayStation 4, I tell people, PlayStation 4 has fake HDR. Now, PlayStation 4 Pro, that could do full-blown real HDR. But, I mean, that's getting down to a super, super tech spec level, and everybody's going to argue with me and tell me to get cancer. But go ahead.
Just watch Digital Foundry videos, everybody. You'll get the truth.
Man, if I want to watch Digital Foundry, I just do it. I don't want to know. I just want to know about games. I don't care about all that other shit. That shit is irrelevant.
I'm telling you, I played 8-bit games. I'm all about having fun,
it's
man.
The truth. Some people would say, "Oh," I'm like, "No, it really never mattered to me. I just want to be play the game."
Well, they cared about it because they were comparing. I'm saying they were comparing, strands of grass at one
Now
point.
that shit was fucking
So
stupid.
people cared about
That
it,
was
all
so
right.
But that's a
Oh
fact.
yeah, they did. And they would run articles saying which console had more grass than the other. So people did care
You
about
could
it. I
actually
know you
find
don't,
that
and
on
I
the
never did,
Foundry.
but other
I can
people
link you
did.
that video.
No, you know who cared? The freaking fanboys and fangirls out there who wanted to keep a war. No matter, I keep telling people, no matter what these consoles do or don't do, there will always be a war. People will always switch sides, and they will always find something to talk shit about, no matter what.
You know, speaking of war, before we wrap, I do want to say, I'm going to let everybody know that it is going to be a 2XP civil war because Mamacita lost her mind challenging me and Nick to join the dance. So
yeah, I saw that.
It's going to be a TiC civil war.
I lost my mind. Crunk. All they gotta do is go look at the video. It's on YouTube. So how have I lost my mind challenging you to me and Crunk challenging you too?
Online and put and do this demo or whatever. This whatever you call it.
I mean, Crunk and I was 1 and 2 like a lot.
No. Okay.
So,
I was winning.
Once I fix my sensitivity, now let trash out.
Yeah, you won one round.
Hold people up, nigga. You don't count. You
Man, don't be hating because y'all was dying.
Soon as I see that red globe, I'm running.
He had one move. Throw that red globe at everybody and blow everybody
Don't
up.
be mad.
Nah, I'm coming with it. I'm coming with it though. Like y'all don't want it because I did win like 3 games. Ma, you won a couple games in a row. That's why you all gassed up. Don't forget the king was on top a couple of times. You heard me?
According to Nick, Ma only won because of me. Because I kept blowing Nick up.
Yep, those are facts. Ma won as much as she did because of fame.
You need to cut that crap out.
No, we had a couple one-on-one battles.
I think I took you out a lot, fam. I think I killed you a lot. Let's go to the video.
I did, and I bested you more times than you bested me one-on-one.
Too much. Don't you got a PlayStation?
I actually purchased one. I bought the Destiny one, the white one.
It's on now.
You gotta get
I bought one and I played it for a bit and I traded it in because it was just doing nothing but looking pretty. I traded it in and I swapped it out for an Apple Watch, and I used my Apple Watch more than I did my PlayStation 4. I'm not even kidding. Like I did not use it, and I also didn't like sitting there and looking at the glare of the light on the controller on my TV. I didn't like that at all.
Oh man!
All right, so
that's so much fun on drawing.
Let's get these outros going, man.
Live stream this too.
We appreciate y'all coming rocking with. Let's get these outros going so everybody can get to their families. I hear my daughter on the other side of the house blowing her lungs through the roof. So that's probably my cue to get up out of there. So let's do not intros, outros. My light-skinned brother from somebody else's mother who we still have not found. Mr. Nickodemus X.
We still looking for her, man. I think she lost in Puerto Rico somewhere, fam. I don't know where.
Puerto Rock. Find our mama, fam.
Find our mama, man. She out here somewhere, man. We need her to really bring back our Black history. We don't know where we from. But this is Nickodemus, the king of indies himself. Make sure you guys tune into Trophy Life podcast every other Tuesday night. Is the TiC official PlayStation podcast. So make sure you guys tune into that. And then also TiCGN.com is your source for gaming related news, topics, reviews, and Switch play. Okay, so make sure you guys go over there and check that out. And then what else we got going on out here in these streets? Oh yeah, don't forget, PlayStation is the best. It is the king of North America. It ain't gonna change. You heard me?
Boy, if you don't get yours.
And we out of here.
And then we got Miss Don't Stroke Me, Mamacita.
I don't even try. Don't even try, because you know what? I'm just gonna hold my peace and just let the when we y'all just okay. Anyway, I want to thank everybody. This is Mamacita. I got something for you, Nickodemus.
Let's go.
Mr. King of Indies. All right. No, that's all. It's on now. It is on.
Practice.
Anyway, thanks everybody. I want to thank our special guest though tonight. Too much food. Thank you so much for all your knowledge and just dropping that knowledge on us, and as well as you, Puerto Rock. I appreciate you coming in and sharing your information with us. And both of you are very knowledgeable guys, and I will definitely love to podcast with you guys in the future.
Thank you so much. Damn, I feel good right now.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on. It's been quite some time. It's been overdue for me to be doing some shows again. I took a little hiatus from that so I could work on my show and try to get the format down with how I like it. And but I really wanted to do a podcast, and this really fit me well, especially with TICGN family. So thanks again, fam, or fame. Well, both, I guess. I know I got a heavy Nintendo channel, but I'm still extremely knowledgeable in the game community. I love games, and I love learning all these little things, down to the statistical numbers, down to the big things like games. But I'm always open to come on to your shows and be it anybody here. I love to talk some gaming and make new fans and make new friends. So thanks for having me on again. Don't be any strangers in the future. My DM box is always open. I hope I hear from you again in the future.
Crunk Girl, we know you came in late. What's happening?
Hey man, I'm out here getting these job interviews and stuff like that, but it is what it is. Thanks for having me as always. Shouts out to the guest, my boy Porter Rock. He already know what it is. And my first time talking to Too Much Food. As well. I think I hit you on Twitter a couple of times. I pay attention. So thanks for coming through and
no problem
with us. You're always welcome. Cause we be having a ball on here. Some of these cats on here don't be knowing how to act when company come on. But who could talk about that?
Don't do us like that, Crunk.
But yeah, man. Thanks for everybody for dropping in the chat, making the chat so lively. Make sure y'all follow me on Twitter. At Crunk Girl 711. Make sure y'all check us out. We're gonna be playing some Drawn to Death for sure. Cause we had a great time last weekend. We had fun. So make sure y'all check us out on that as well. Also, I'll be dropping my Persona 5 impression/review this week on sheattack.com, so make sure y'all check that out as well.
And as requested, because we give you guys what you want, Porter Rock.
Damn, what's up? Hey, fam, thank you so much for the invite. Crunk Girl, my sister from another mister, it's good seeing you again.
Oh,
yes, Mamacita.
No, me and Porter Rock go back, man.
We go back. We're like war horses. We're like war horses in these streets.
Hey, we try.
Well, all right.
Okay, Mamacita, it was such an honor to meet you. King of Indies, I gotta get you all on my podcast.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm down for that, man. I gotta get you on the Trophy Life one as well. So
hell yeah. I don't even like the name Trophy Life.
Yeah, we out here.
Yeah, Too Much Food. It was great to meet you. And speaking about my podcast, check out 60 Frames No Lag on my channel. It's hosted every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, but I'm gonna do a special one tomorrow because it's been a while. Over the last 6 weeks, I wasn't able to podcast, but now I'm back. And, so this has been the first podcast I just came back with. So I appreciate, bringing me back in, Fame. Man, it's been great. Awesome podcast.
That's what's up, my brother. And Nick, you have a question before we leave?
Oh, yeah. I want to ask the Xbox YouTube community a question right quick.
If it's you mad, I'm gonna mute you.
No. I'm just going to ask them a question right quick. So how does it feel that, me as a PlayStation gamer got front row seats at the Microsoft press conference? How do y'all feel about that? That y'all ain't get your invite yet?
Oh man,
where your Sony press conference
I'm just
invite
curious.
at?
It's coming, fam.
No, come on here and brag when you get a Sony press conference invite.
I hope y'all know that.
Brag when you get that one.
It's coming. It's coming. You're gonna see it on Twitter. You're gonna see it on Twitter.
To get into this Sony.
Are we going together, Nick?
I do want to put out there that, as you guys know, I got some things going on, so I had to give up my seat for E3 this year, and graciously, Too Much Food is going, so that's great. I did have to give up my seat for E3 this year because I got some things going on. I'm trying to buy a house, things like that, so my priorities are in order. But I will be doing a bit of a TiC collage of a Avengers type podcast together with the remaining TiC people who aren't going to E3 this year. So I definitely want you guys to be sure to take that out. And I want you guys to remember that Xbox is the best box and Nickodemus is the best bot. Peace out, y'all.
Oh wow!
Call my contacts at Microsoft.
You're about to trigger
You got kicked out the conference.
No, I'm gonna kick you out like United Airlines.
I'm
Oh, yeah, we out on
my
that note, y'all.
contacts at
Peace out.
Microsoft. I'm
You ain't got no
calling them.